Hey everybody, this is Tom with The Board Gamer. Today we're going to do a quick overview and review for this game. If you want the full how-to, go ahead and click this icon up here or the link in the description. Now let's get into it. Life of the Amazonia is a 1 to 4 player game for ages 14 and up, with an average gameplay length of 60 to 150 minutes based on the number of players published by Bad Comet. The basic overview for Life of the Amazonia has players building a jungle with terrain tiles and populating that jungle with different animals using a variety of tokens collected throughout the game. Once 5 of the 8 animal cards are depleted, the game will end and each animal will score differently, and the player with the most points wins. Life of the Amazonia is a sequel to Wild Serengeti, soon to be called Life of the Serengeti for reasons. But it is only a sequel in terms of who published the game, Bad Comet, and its overarching theme of animal conservation. The gameplay itself for both games are different mechanic-wise entirely. A short, sweet version is in Wild, all players work off the same map with the same animals to create a scene to complete for points. In Life of the Amazonia, players create their own jungles with tiles and populate them with different life like animals and plants, using a variety of tokens. Now let's take a look at what Life of the Amazonia has to offer. To begin, the components for Life of the Amazonia are beautiful. Bad Comet does not disappoint in this aspect. The animeeples are great. These little guys will catch your eye from across the room. But even the art on everything, be it the animal cards, nature cards, and even the way the tiles are drawn, have a real depth to them. Now, I have the deluxe version. That has the wooden tokens, the trees, and aquatic flowers. If you have the chance, I would highly recommend picking up that version. It really amplifies the wow factor. However, if you choose the base version, you will not be disappointed. The way everything that is cardboard is made with very high quality cardboard. It all looks amazing. However, although it is higher quality, it is thinner than what I'm used to, so I tend to worry about it bending, but I've yet to have anything bend or break, which again, I think has to do with the quality of the product. Another thing I really like are the token vaults. They give you all the information you need and are great for both organization during the game and when you put them away in the box. The waterfall track is cool and keeps with the WoW theme, but given its size and the amount of space everything needs, it can be an issue when playing with 3 or 4 players, since it's always easier for some players to see than others. Personal tracks to be placed in front of the player would be more efficient, but would definitely lose the WoW factor. One thing that reduces the WoW factor for me personally are the cards' texture, or rather how the cards are made. Given their higher quality mesh design, I guess that's what you would call it, it makes the cards look and feel great, but also makes them highly reflective. This can make things difficult given your lighting situation. You may never experience this issue, but it was something I noticed more than once when playing this game. But, I mean, that could have just been my setup. Life of the Amazonia has a lot of rules. I mean, look at my how to play video, it's almost 30 minutes long. But that being said, most of the rules are almost common sense once you understand the game. If you're playing with someone who is already experienced with this game, you can pick it up and have a good understanding of the game in one playthrough. It just seems like a lot up front. Plus, there is very little player interaction, so it's very easy to help everyone around the table. Your real opponent is your token bag. This bag and the tokens it contains are the main feature of how the game plays. It can be all boiled down to a bag builder, which, like a deck builder, you want to fill your bag with higher value tokens and remove lower value tokens to be able to do more on your turn. After that comes the next big mechanic, which is the jungle building. This will vary with every playthrough since all the animals score in a different way, and nature cards can alter how you decide to play if you collect them. Overall, there is a small learning curve, but there are no real hurdles to keep you from fully understanding the game. Life of the Amazonia is a very strategy-driven game. Everyone starts with the same set of tokens, and we are all scoring for the same base animals. Some animals score better than others, but they do require you to strategize how you build your jungle. The more you invest in your strategy, the more often you will win this game. The upside is you do not have to eliminate creativity when building your jungle. Since the terrain tiles have 7 terrain hexes, which almost always have 2 of each terrain, and then a third for one of those terrains, making the combinations you can have nearly endless, and also allow themselves to create larger single habitats too. The only real luck in the game comes from when you draw the tokens from your bag, which can be less luck and more strategic by purchasing higher value tokens and using the compost bonus to eliminate the tokens you no longer wish to have in your draw bag. Another thing that makes this game more strategic and less luck based is there is no real player interaction. You are building your own jungle, and players cannot interfere with each other. Now this is something I missed from Wild Serengeti. The player interaction in Wild Serengeti added a new element of randomness, with the players all playing off the same map. And without that, Life of the Amazonia felt like a solo game I was playing with friends. This wasn't bad, it was just different. This game has 8 base animals you play every game that score in different ways. That allows for a bit of variety, allowing for higher than normal replay value. But Life of the Amazonia does not stop there. These 8 base animal cards have a side B, which makes the animals score in another completely different way, increasing the replay value. Oh yeah, there is also another card that has sides C and D, and if you picked up the Kickstarter edition, a side F and a blank side E to make your own scoring rules. You can use any combination of these animal cards to set up your game, giving you a ton of opportunity to change up each game. With that, you can replay this game as often as you would like and find it hard to run out of combinations. Now the gameplay will always remain the same. You will still be using tokens to lure animals to your jungle and placing tiles to expand that jungle. But how you score in the end can change as often as you would like it to. And having that option is always nice. Now I am always a sucker for an animal-themed game, but when you add the element of conservation, like Life of the Amazonia does, you pull at my heartstrings a little bit. Growing up, and even now, I have always loved animal documentaries, going to zoos, and learning all I can about animals and their habitats. Part of the education you usually receive in these types of hobbies are about conservation. I really like how Bad Comet presented this in board game form. Now as for the game itself, the animal meeples could make any board shine. But the tiles, the trees, and the aquatic flowers really help to bring your jungle to life. This is an area I think Life of the Amazonia improved on after Wild Serengeti. I do miss the player interaction that Wild provided, but I'm having fun building my jungle without any interference. I loved Wild Serengeti, and I really enjoy Life of the Amazonia. I think if strategy and animals are your thing, you will enjoy this game too. This board gamer says, Life of the Amazonia is not boring. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and ring the bell to get notified about new videos. If you're bored now, click this for more games.